Hello, Hannah. Soul Dr. Nick here, and it's February 2nd, 2025, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Been up since about 3:13. Again, this is my daily musings, not for public consumption or general consumption, and watch at your own risk if you want to. I'm just going to be ranting and raving and all the things in between. And I just completed Tony Robbins day one online, and it was fantastic to watch the master at work and to hear the state, story, strategy framework again, and then to hear him go through the 4 archetypes. This has been new, and I think this is relatively, well, since the first time I saw him in 2018, I believe it was, recent then, because now he's stepping into the warrior, the magician, the lover, the king, queen, or sovereign archetypes. And it was beautiful to actually do the exercises as well, and to make the noises, and to feel the places, and to see the colors, and then to send the messages to myself and integrate those pieces. And what I love about listening to Tony is he's so concise with things now, so clear, and I can see it more clearly now. Like when you have someone that charismatic, that grounded in their power, because there's a force to him too, but there's the power, which is what really hits. There's so much that can change. And I was saying this maybe even yesterday, the reason, because I knew of him decades ago, and I'm realizing all these things I knew decades ago, the old me is looking at like, oh, I missed out, I could have gotten a shortcut. Whereas now I realize if I'd gotten all those things before I actually found my sense of self, I would have gotten lost in it, because I would have wanted to be Tony rather than be my version of Tony. And that's the difference in what I really want to give, is how do I awaken the sense of self in somebody else? Because otherwise I want them to be more like me because I have the right answer. And there's a part of me that has that at times. That's part of the inner battle. And then he's looking at the old story versus the new story. And then what does that new story provide? What's that make possible? And I realized the old story is, oh my God, I'm doing this for others. Like first my parents wanted to take on all of their pain and suffering, not realizing that even, and then letting that develop into asthma. And then, my teachers trying to perfect, to please, trying to succeed at the games that I thought I'm supposed to succeed in, whether it's gymnastics or other sports. Whether it's in the finances, whether it's in the university game, the honors game, the medical game, and then eventually failing, burning out, flaming out, not being enough, losing the wallets, losing things. So what's the point in even trying when I already know the outcome is going to be loss? And probably if I really want to dig in deep to the family line, that's probably the part of why I have kids, except it's going to be loss. And that's part of the beauty of my unexpected child, because he did that right away. And right away in day one, he challenged me because, we were in the ICU not breathing. And he's like, do you want to play that game your whole life? And that was a turning point. There's so many turning points that have happened. And that's the old story. The new story is realizing, oh my God, when I actually have all these archetypes, I'm actually clear, I'm playing an infinite game with magic, with love, and I'm able to actually, in the present moment, get through anything with that warrior, because the warrior is just present. Then I'm just here to play. I have no idea of the outcome, and I know the outcome. That's the fun thing. It's that idea of predestiny and free will. It's both. I have no idea the outcome, because there is free will there and not knowing. And I do know the outcome. There's a part of me that already predestined this, and it's amazing. And what I'm recognizing more and more is that old story of if I gain, someone else loses. That's been part of the old story that's been imprinted. Oh, I can't take too much. I can't be too selfish, because me being selfish or wanting more means someone else is having less or wanting less or unable to care for themselves. And so I am so excited to create not just this lifetime, but multiple lifetimes, to look at eternity and then come back to the moment over and over again and have those moments match as much as possible. And I recognize now that the balance of things shifts as I shift my time scale, as I shift the size and scope and exponential dreams that are there, And it's okay to play with these dimensions. It's okay to play with the multiple dimensions, the multiverse that's there, the quantumness that's there, the astrological side of things. Like if we actually are in this giant cosmos, which I actually think we are, then we're hurtling through space. And what we call space isn't emptiness. It's just space for other things, space for other dimensions. And sometimes it's our job not to try to clutter it all up with this dimension, clutter it up. And I was thinking of Naval's comment, Naval Ravikant. He's like, my goal isn't to be rich, but to create the skills and hone the skills that 999 times out of 1,000, I can create the life that I want. And that's what I'm reminding myself of too. Like, we have the ability now, I already know, my beloved and I, to create the life that we want no matter where we are. And we haven't yet gone beyond where we are in terms of the financial wealth, partly because we're still building the foundation, really understanding it. And it took this long to get grounded in who we are so that we can actually step into who we want to become, who we want to become, who I want to become. Having the team, having the family on the external side and on the internal side, I could tell that the magician has been fairly strong. I've strengthened up the king or the sovereign. The warrior is still lacking. That's in the solar plexus. And the lover, which is all the way down in the subcoccals, he's been weak. That lover of life, lover of beauty, lover of taste, lover of sensation, lover of experiences. I've been allowing certain experiences that I felt safe enough, but all the experiences. And I can see now why I'm saying some of the things to give myself clues, like the idea of flying private, because the lover loves that luxury, loves that freedom, loves to be able to have the home the way it is. And then home is where the heart is. That's part of my work as the king, is to actually step into my home to create space in that home for my queen, for my son, for the children that want to come. And my child has really opened up the doors for possibilities. And whether another one comes or not, their essence, the idea of them is already opening up doors, because it's reminding me, how do I step beyond what I feel is safe, that is knowable? It's the same thing as having more cats right now. I'm just saying yes to these things. How do I get out of the way of choices that I don't need to make? That's the partnership that I have already. I've got an amazing partner in life who is making choices that are super powerful as well. And right now, my warrior is calling forward to say, okay, we're going to step into this new diet. We're going to step into this new way of creating more vitality, because we're ready for this now. And I've been saying this to so many people. What do you want more energy for? To do more of the same thing? Because it sounds like you're not enjoying it. And that's part of it for me too. And I realized that, I can't wait to play video games again, when I'm coming from a place of, this is just a game within a game. Let's play the game within a game. Right? Let's play it not to manage more inventory, because I don't need to manage game inventory. I do want to actually manage this 3D world inventory, to have less stuff. Right? So how do I let go of so many things that no longer serve, especially if they're just replaceable things, especially if they're things I can always buy again, and especially if it's not the highest version of something that I want and I'm not currently using. Because if I'm not currently using, then why is it still in my life? And then part of it is not trying to push that on my family, whether it's my beloved or my son. I'll put some of those boxes in the storage for now, and then we'll call them back up when they're ready to look through them. But for my own stuff, let's let it go. Let's let go of the water hoses. Let's go of all these things that really we don't need. We don't need. And it feels easier to breathe now. It feels easier to breathe, seeing these things. And today I felt called to come here early, because I didn't want to make all these noises, because you had to make the noises of all these different archetypes without disturbing others, and looking like a complete idiot. And it's okay to look like a complete idiot too. I realize that my magician really comes out when I'm in the spaces of medicine and breath. And that's also where the warrior has been reminding me. The warrior is just present. And then the watching of the movies I love, whether it's the superhero movies or whether it's movies like Braveheart with giant battle scenes, that they're fighting for something they believe in. And that's what I love about Braveheart. Like, the idea of it is that he's fighting for the freedom, and he's fighting through the pain. And it is such a standard hero's journey, right? He had love and he lost love, but without losing that love, he couldn't have helped to free a country. And that's part of the balance that DeMartini is talking about. Like sometimes we look at the immediate thing, go, oh my God, that was loss, that was pain. Why did bad things happen to good people? Versus what was the eventual outcome? Just like COVID. Why did this terrible thing happen? Oh, fuck, I love COVID. I love that this happened. If it hadn't happened, I wouldn't have woken up to how I view medicine and healing and connection and finding my own sense of self, because it was so important. And then realizing that I'm at a different phase of life than some of my teachers. And so their values are different, and getting to this point now where I realize it's about seeing my own values and seeing the values of others, and then just noticing that they're different, and it's okay. That's part of our unique flavor. It's part of our unique flavor. And I'm loving that I've got my own unique flavor. And in my own unique flavor, then all the things I'm striving for doesn't mean someone else is striving for exactly the same thing. That's part of the lie and the trap that we found ourselves in. And as I get clear on where the values are at right now, I get clear when I want to shift them, because I can just shift them. I don't have to be stuck in the story of, oh, there's an empty nest syndrome. Oh, there's a midlife crisis. The crisis is just, oh my God, I need to shift my values because it doesn't reflect who I am anymore, and I don't know how to. So I'm going to take on the ones that I'm supposed to take on because it feels easier. It feels like I get more approval from people. It feels safer because people won't judge me for doing something that's unexpected, even if it is leaving family, cheating, all that stuff. And that's totally possible where I'm at now. I feel better, look younger, have more confidence in myself than I ever have. And how do I channel that into and expand on this game that I'm playing, this infinite game that I'm already playing? And then taking a breath and being reminded of the transmutation of the possibilities. Being reminded that this is a gift that we can actually live this life together. This is a gift that we can actually learn this way. And I might dive into more. I might dive into fulfilling a few of the things I need to do. So much is possible. I'm just going to take a second after this to actually prioritize the day. And committing to this 14 days has been super helpful, following through with the commitments. And so now I'm going to commit to taking a look at what's next for the breath. What are the structures that I want to put in place? Ciao for now.